Welcome, Columbus Metropolitan Library teens, to this information literacy crash course created by Carolyn Clark, Courtney Johnson, and Kapil Vasudev.
Welcome, you smart, beautiful young people. We're glad you're here. Today, we want to talk to you about something very serious and important: information literacy. How do you know it's serious and important? Just look at that font. All caps, giant letters, black background. Enough said. According to the American Library Association, information literacy is a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. But wait, hold on, let's back up. We see you have some thoughts and perhaps a few questions. In the current media landscape, some people see a crisis around information literacy. This has been sparked in part by assertions of truth versus truthiness versus alternative facts, also known as lies. And of course, distinguishing between these is important. Having informational literacy allows you to think, act, and make choices, recognizing that these choices all have consequence for people, politics, and the planet. But what exactly is information, and where does it come from? Information is just knowledge or data that's been organized and communicated. Generally, that means news or facts. And for a long time, that kind of information was conveyed via television, radio, newspapers, and books, or directly in person, face to face. For most of you, though, that's ancient history. In the 21st century, information comes in many shapes, sizes, mediums, and modalities. Today, your main source of information might be TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, or even Twitch. Many of you are what some folks would call digital natives. Smart, beautiful young people who have only ever lived in a world with computers, the internet, iPhones, social media, or whatever that is. In other words, you have mad skills, but using digital technology and consuming information critically are not the same thing. And not all information is news you can use. Conventionally, we're taught to be hypervigilant and aware of certain forms of information, particularly advertisements and related media. Advertising, buying, and selling are a big part of what is happening on social media. They're called influencers for a reason. You may have heard about the bandwagon effect, which suggests that new fads or products will catch on because everybody's doing it. One example of this was the ice bucket challenge, when folks were pouring freezing water over their heads to generate awareness and raise money for research on ALS. Lots of funny videos for a good cause. What could be bad about that? But just because everybody is doing it and liking it doesn't mean it's a good idea. Remember when folks were trashing their school bathrooms? We rest our case. So yeah, given the global network of information that you can access in most cases after a quick Google search or at the touch of a button, being critically aware and attuned to advertising and social media is a good idea. But from our perspective, everything we see, read, or experience is informational. From the sports, TV shows, and movies we watch, to the advertisements we consume, to the novels and literature we read. All of it impacts our senses and informs our understanding of the world and our place in it. Texts are always positioning us, working to get us to do things, be things, buy things, or believe things. Oh, you're surprised? Remember this? This very serious and important topic? Well, this text is just like any others. It wants you to pay attention. It wants you to believe there is a red alert crisis. It may even want you to be scared or worried. In short, it's positioning you. Like we said, all texts do. From the latest BuzzFeed quiz, to your favorite Snapchat emojis, to this guy, and the at least 37 plays and more than 150 poems that he wrote over 500 years ago, and that we all still read in most schools today. Yes, even the works of William Shakespeare position readers, but most readers don't question his text in the same way they do many others. Maybe they should. We're here to tell you that you can and you should question everything, especially text or information, really all of it. Because while texts do position readers, readers can also position texts, and pay attention to how text and readers are positioned in the world. All it requires is asking a few simple questions. Questions like, who does this text think you are? Who does this text want you to be? What is this text trying to get you to do, think, or feel? What kinds of texts do we ask these questions about? Why don't we ask these questions about all texts? What might happen if we did? Let's take a closer look. The good folks at the Center for Media Literacy have some thoughts on that. Like us, they recommend bringing some critical questions to bear on all of the media texts you encounter. Questions like, who created this message? What have they done to get my attention? Would other people see this message the same way I do? What values, people, and perspectives are included in this message or not? And why is this message being sent? They also have some important things to keep in mind as you navigate the world of information and engage with any texts. Things like every media message is constructed. It was made by someone intending to do something. Remember, texts are always positioning readers. And media messages are constructed using creative language with different rules. Like, it's okay to say everyone is doing it, even if they're not. Remember the bandwagon effect? Not everyone will react the same way to every media message or text. Remember how texts are always positioning us? We also position texts. Importantly, media have embedded values. They're implicitly and explicitly telling us what's good, what it means to succeed, what makes a person beautiful, what love is, and on and on. And in the end, most media messages are trying to do one thing: make money or gain power for the people who constructed the message in the first place. So what does all of this mean for you, you smart, beautiful young person? The good news is you have agency. With these questions and concepts in hand, you can critically read and respond to all of the texts and media messages you encounter, and then make choices about what you buy, support, or believe, which means that you have power. So the next time you see a text, whether on a screen or in print, remember, you can and you should question everything. Thanks for hanging out.